Well, I've realised something really quite terrifying today. Having a look around in the greenhouse, I realised I've got 14 courgette plants. 14! So I decided I'm going to do something a little bit radical actually, because I just don't need that many obviously, and nobody ever wants these plants off you when you try and give them away. So I've got 6 in here, the rest are different squashes. They haven't been hardened off, but I've just brought them up today and I'm going to plant, I think I'm going to plant these 6 out, which is as many as I need, that's the truth. I'm just going to plant them straight out and I'm going to put some fleece over them. And if they don't work out, because it is way too early really to be putting courgettes into the ground, but if they don't work out, I've got masses still in the greenhouse to follow on. So I'm just going to quickly get this border ready, as I wasn't planning on putting them in this early obviously, so my bed isn't ready. I've always had some borage in this corner of the allotment. It just self-seeds itself every year, and actually this year I thought I had weeded it out too well and there wasn't going to be any growth, but actually there's a whole load of them come up there, so I'm certainly going to leave some of those to come up because borage is beautiful and it's good for the insects as well, and you can also eat it if you would like to. The flowers are nice in a salad. So hopefully the courgettes and the borage will live together quite happily. I'm obviously going to take most of these out, but I'll leave a few, probably more than I should. I grew this variety of courgette last year. They're a variety called Courgette Trieste or something like that. They're by far the nicest courgettes I've grown. I got them from Real Seeds. The courgette is like quite a pale, almost greyish green colour. Not the most attractive, I have to admit, but in terms of flavour and texture, much better than other ones I've grown. They're very firm and quite sweet and flavourful. So I've got 6 here that need to go out because the roots are coming right through on the bottom there. And I could pot them on, I should really pot them on and leave them in the greenhouse probably for another month even, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to stick them in the ground and see how they get on. I think they'll be all right. I think this is going to work. I've also got this bottle with a little bit of water in the bottom. I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to slot it over the top of a couple of the courgettes. I wish I had enough bottles to do this with them all, but this is the only bottle I've got, so I'll do it with 2 of them and see how we'll get on. My aim putting this bottle on the top is to just protect it. It'll hopefully protect it from the elements a bit more. Also, if there's any slugs that take a fancy to them, it'll make them a little bit protected from those. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how we'll get on. Well, there we are, that's them planted. Wish me luck. It's a little bit of an experiment and a risk to be putting courgettes out this early. My hope is they'll probably just sit there for a month and not do much at all, and then they hopefully will grow if the weather plays ball. We certainly shouldn't get any frosts here now. We are well past our last frost date, so I think that's the most important thing. I just discovered this pot sitting there tucked into the corner. Very happy to see this. What this is, well, I think, yeah, it definitely is. Look at those roots. I think this is Jerusalem artichoke. Now, I planted Jerusalem artichoke in a line at the back of my allotment, about 3 years ago. Anyway, we didn't really like it very much. We didn't like the taste that much, so I took it all out. I know everybody says it's terribly hard to get rid of, but I didn't find it that hard. It hadn't gotten established enough, I don't think. So I took it all out. Anyway, what I noticed last year was it had actually creeped over into my neighbour's plot, and it was kind of growing up behind a whole bunch of wood she had stacked. I don't think she minds. I don't think she even knows it's there. Anyway, I came to regret digging it out, because I thought, you know, actually this is a really good kind of plant that you could plant, you could guerrilla garden with, you could plant out in plain sight, out and about, and nobody will know what it is. Unless you were a keen gardener, you wouldn't know what Jerusalem artichoke was. So it's like having a food crop just planted randomly anyway. So I thought, I really want that back. And I never see the lady next door, so I couldn't ask her to dig some out. But what I noticed was there was a tiny little one coming back into my plot. So I had to dig round. It was by the pond, and it was the right clot to get it out. Managed to get a couple of little tubers, and I pushed them in this pot. This was last autumn. I've been keeping my eye on it ever since, and nothing had happened, and I just thought, nothing's going to work now. Anyway, that's it. It's just worked today. Well, I've just noticed it today. So I think what I'll do is I will be planting those out in the back, in the secret garden. Maybe push the boundaries out a bit, and that can just grow there happily at will. And if it ever happened to want Jerusalem artichoke for some reason, there it is. Well, Kenny usually is, well, always the one who deals with all the wood and chops it up. I've never really done it before, but I've seen several clips of women trying. They're always rubbish at it. I'm going to have a try, and I'm going to be a super expert. Watch this. Which bit do you reckon I should try this bit, do you think?
Yeah, that should be an easy bit. Yeah. It's got good grain this, so it should split nicely.
Is that right?
Go on. You need a bigger swing. No. Take the axe off. You need to swing a bit harder. This is comedy, you know. Right. Take it. That, don't they? Yeah. Try a bigger swing. Try and control it a bit.
How do you know it's going to hit? That's what gets me.
Dear me. It's an accident waiting to happen. Right, that's not going to work, is it?
It's turning into a beautiful day. These are beetroot. I've been growing them on for ages, and they're so slow this year. It's got to just be the cold. There's hardly even many roots through on the bottom. As you see, they're just still quite small. Nonetheless, they are hardened off. These ones are hardened off. My plan with these is I'm interplanting this year in amongst the onions. I've already got a few plants in there that I had planted out earlier. We'll see how many of these I can get in. They're multi-sown. Some of them have got too many in. I'll split them. But if they've got about 4 in, I'll leave them together, and then you take out the bigger ones as they grow and leave the smaller ones to grow on. Sometimes it's hard to know what to do when you're gardening, because you hear so many different pieces of conflicting advice about what the right thing to do is. Now, I've heard many times that onions don't like competition and you should keep them well weeded, etc. And yet here I am interplanting them with what is basically a competing crop. So we'll see what happens. Some eggs for her.
But the thing is, what to do with the chicks when they hatch?
Well, you'd have to keep them or eat them.
Poor little chicks.
Well, they would be tens before you ate them.
Yeah, but how do you raise them though?
Well, you just...
The heat lamps and all that?
Oh, you don't need them when you've got a proper hen.
We should look after them.
Yeah. That's the whole point. If you raise them with a mother, the mother does all that. What do you think happened?
But they probably arrived too late though.
Yeah. It was on Facebook Marketplace. You would just go for them. You know, it's local.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll wait and see how these onions do. I never grow very big onions. They always turn out small to start with. So really, if there was too much competition, I think my onions would be a dead loss. But we'll see. I need to make the most of my space. And this is a good way of doing it, if it'll work. Well, wish me luck on my little experiments for the day, the courgettes, the interplanting. We'll see how they go. You've got to keep trying new things, haven't you? Hope your garden's growing well, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.